This is the book that made me decide to become an author. You can tell the spine is broken because I've read it so many times. And this book honestly taught me pretty much everything that I know about how to be a writer and comic book writing, etc. I would not be the person I am today without this book. And that is because in the back of this book is a full written out script, as well as a walkthrough of every single step of the comic creation process, from brainstorming to writing it to how to format it, getting it illustrated, lettering, etc. As an aspiring, or not even an aspiring writer back then, just like someone who really liked writing and books, this book made me feel like I could write a book. I've learned so much over the last 5 years, and all of that is thanks to this book, which is written by one of my favorite authors, Brian K. Vaughan. And so I decided to try a challenge. I want to write like Brian K. Vaughan for the rest of this week. And I say the rest of this week because it's Tuesday and I meant to start this video on Monday and then I forgot. But we've still got 4 days, people. We can still do that. Maybe I'll make the 5th day be Saturday. I could probably make that work. All of that is the preamble for what is essentially going to be, I'm going to try Brian K. Vaughan's writing routine for 5 days. Now, Brian K. Vaughan, I cannot find a specific, here's my writing routine anywhere, but I was able to find a few articles. And in one of the interviews, he said, for the most part, I like to work on one issue at a time. And then the second that issue is over, switch to a completely other book. I've never chain smoked a saga to another saga. I have to break it up with something else. And I will link the article below if you want to read it, because it's cool to learn about authors' processes. But it sounds like he writes a full issue, then he moves on to a different issue, swap back and forth between 2 projects, which now it makes sense how Paper Girls and Saga and all of these stories that I fell in love with writing through came out so close together, because he was working on them at the same time. And this is surprisingly similar to my own creative process. I'm a little bit more hyper-fixated and focused. I recently finished an entire comic miniseries in less than a month, and that was 6 issues, and I wrote 1 a day. I don't know where that came from, but I very much focus hardcore on things. But I do also tend to get sick of projects if I work on just that one project for an extended period of time. I think the only reason I could do what I did with the miniseries is that it was a miniseries. If it was, say, something the size of Saga, which is still ongoing and so many issues long, I don't think I could write it back to back to back to back, because I've got too many ideas going on in my head, and eventually I'm gonna get sick of it, and then I'll just end up putting it on the back burner and never getting back to it. That's usually what happens with my larger projects. So I'm excited to try this and see if maybe this method would help me keep a longer project going while being able to pepper shorter projects into it, so I can keep that oh, I'm working on a new thing excitement going while simultaneously working on a longer, more epic project. But as I did mention, I have recently completed an entire miniseries. So that's an original story. I'm reaching out to artists, trying to get that illustrated. I have vlogs up on my channel about all of that kind of stuff if you want to check them out. But I did finish it just a few weeks ago, and maybe less than a few weeks ago. I don't exactly know when I finished it, sometime in February. I still kind of have those characters in my head. I'm not fully ready to start a whole new project or return to one of my previous projects with original characters yet. I don't want to force it, I still have Wyatt and Kenna floating around my brain telling me what they're up to, and I think that I need to respect that and give myself a short break from original stories, but I don't want to take a break from writing. So I'm going to be using fanfics for this test. I can write about a fanfic chapter a day the same way that I can write about a comic issue a day if I'm excited and into it. With my original novels, those chapters tend to be longer. I tend to need more time to ruminate in them. So I thought that because I do enjoy writing fan fiction and it's more low pressure and more just enjoyable for me type writing, I would, for these 5 days, try and write 2 fanfics, try and write a chapter of one, pivot to a different one, back to the original one, pivot to a different one, back to the original one, like that. And try and write a chapter every single day for 5 days and see how that works. Try the Brian Vaughan method, but with fanfic chapters instead of comic book issues. I'm excited to see if I can do this. It's been a little while since I wrote something in novel format rather than comic format, and I want to, practice that a little bit before I get back to one of my original novels, which I still hopefully want to try and finish one of those this year. We'll just see. I'm much slower at writing novels. Comics are my comfort area. Fanfiction is great practice. All of this is to say, in this video, I'm doing the thing that I said I'm going to be doing. And now let's cut to a different clip before I reiterate that again. Alright, so I forgot to plug my mic in for this clip, but we're just gonna hope the audio is okay. I wrote one chapter of a fic. It ended up being 2,484 words long. Not bad. It took me, I want to say like an hour or two, probably more like 2 hours. So I'm gonna tidy that up and then just kind of like spend the rest of the night like making content, hanging out with my family, doing non-writing-y stuff. And then tomorrow I will start chapter 1 of a different fic, and we're gonna see if this progress keeps up, because if I could do this, that'd be great. I really want to finish all the fics I have sitting around in AO3, and I know I'm starting new ones, but like I also want to write these. So, but all in all, I don't want to be one of those authors that leaves their people hanging for forever and never finishes the fics. No shame to the people who do that. Life happens, inspiration fades. I'm doing it right now, but I would love to eventually return to all my fics and finish them. I say as I begin 2 whole new ones. Anyway, if something like this could be effective, that would be great. I really need to get back to my fic writing. So I guess I will see you tomorrow with a further update, and we will see what progress I am able to make then. Hello and welcome to my bathroom. This is not the greatest lighting or sound. I apologize. This morning I had a dental appointment, and then I kind of just worked the rest of the day, and it wasn't until late that I was able to sit down and write. And I did knock out a whole other chapter of a whole different fic. Bouncing between the two is very fun so far. There's not too much more of an update that I can offer because I'm about to go to bed. Hopefully tomorrow I can get some actual like good footage, because so far doing this challenge during the work week may not have been the best idea, because I really can just film what I'm writing and then the rest of the day I'm working. So the aesthetic level kinda low. I did want to update that I have added another element to the challenge. Now, Vaughan was talking about how to become a writer, he thinks that what you have to do is write 10,001 pages. He basically said that every writer has 10,001 words of shit that they have to write before they get to the good stuff. And so, while I'm not going to write 10,001 pages in this vlog, I did want to clear 10,001 words in 5 days. I think it's doable. So far, I've written like over 5,000 words for 2 chapters in 2 days. That's kind of great, you know? But I do have to go to bed now, so I will update you tomorrow. Hopefully I can do some more actual vlogging. I don't have any doctor appointments or anything tomorrow, so I will see you then, and let's see if we can what if I could? No, I was about to say, what if I could clear 10,001 pages? That's impossible. I definitely think I can clear 10,001 words if I don't give up on this challenge, though. Cross your fingers for me. When you look at this, me, a vlogger, actually vlogging. Unheard of, crazy stuff, I know. But it is not actually vlogging anymore, apparently. My camera just shut off for no reason. But it is officially day 3 of this little challenge I've set myself. And so far, we're doing good, you know? Halfway through, basically, if I can make it through today. It is our first day going back to one of the fics I've already written. So I'll just call it Fic A and Fic B. I wrote Fic A on day 1, Fic B on day 2, and now the goal is to jump back to Fic A. I had a lot of fun writing Fic B, more fun than I had writing Fic A, and I was initially like, oh, am I gonna not want to go back to Fic A? But I'm still excited about it, and I still want to get back to it. So far it seems to be working. Alright, a brief update that I don't feel like turning my mic on for, so please ignore the... Well, you know what? Bad audio is just the norm for my videos at this point. It's not that surprising to anybody involved. I wrote for about an hour, and then I had to walk my sister to my grandmother's, and I got a little less than 2 pages done, and the characters have only just started interacting with one another. So this definitely feels like it's gonna be a longer one, and I'm just gonna keep plugging away at it and cross my fingers. Hello, it is now day 4, and I did end up finishing chapter 2 of Fic A last night. I did not film an update because, well, I forgot. That's really the only reason. Hey. There we we go. So, I did end up finishing it. It was exactly 5,000 words long, which is kind of long for a chapter of mine. Took me many hours to write, but I'm pretty happy with it. But you know, it's fanfic. I write this stuff for fun. If it's not 100% perfect, I'm still usually pretty okay with that, and I kind of just enjoy exploring character dynamics. So today we are going to be working on chapter 2 of Project B. I will say, observations on this writing routine real quick. I am enjoying hopping between the two. Like, I like having multiple projects going. That's very fun for me. But sometimes I think that I miss doing them multiple in a row. You know, like after I finished chapter 2 of Project A, I kind of wanted to start working on chapter 3 of Project A, but instead I'm going to be taking a break from it for a day and working on Project B. So it's not like actively making me like frustrated or anything, but I do think that because of the way that I like tend to hyperfixate on things, maybe writing like this where I bounce between them always isn't for me, but I think that I could implement something similar to this into my own writing routine in the future and maybe like have several projects going and then I bounce between them as hyperfixations fade out. Maybe less rules, maybe less rigidity in my personal writing routine. It's already like after 5 o'clock. I had a lot of work to do and I didn't clear my inbox till like 4 o'clock. I have to go start writing Project B chapter 2 right now if I want to get it done today because I have like less than 2 hours. So yeah, I'm gonna go work on that and I will see you all in whatever the next clip is of, whatever that ends up being. Alright, we're doing another late night update, this time for my bathroom floor, so excuse me. But I did end up finishing a chapter today. It was written really quickly. It was just like a little 1,500 word type thing. Kind of just like a transition chapter between two of the bigger ones. So that's kind of the only update. I did have fun writing it, and AO3 seems to be enjoying it, so that's cool. That's always great. I love getting comments like that. I'm ready to bed. I'm tired. Oh, sorry. And I will see you all tomorrow for the last day of the challenge, when I will hopefully... I'm due for another really big chapter tomorrow, so fingers crossed I can actually get it done, and then we will have like a little wrap-up where we can talk about pros and cons of this kind of a routine.
No issue for him when there's such a great performance so far today. 1.2 seconds off the pace, outpaced his teammate, but you can see the warning lights.
Okay, it is now 5 o'clock. I did not film anything all day. I'm sorry. I don't have a good excuse. I kind of just like chilled with my sister this morning and then I watched TV for too long with my family. But I do have a chapter to write today to complete this challenge. We're back to Project A and hopefully that will go well, and I will keep you updated as to whether or not I can accomplish that because it's already 5 o'clock and I haven't started yet, and it's going to be probably a longer chapter because Project A, the chapters are much longer than Project B. I'm going to cross my fingers. We're all going to hope that I didn't totally bungle this challenge on the last day. Like seriously, if I screwed it up on the last day, that's going to be a bummer, so let's pray for me, please. Well, I did it. It is the day after the challenge ended, and I thought I would talk a little bit about how it went, etc., etc. First off, I did write a chapter every single day for 5 days, bouncing between 2 projects. Yesterday's was probably the hardest to get done because I waited till way too late in the day to start it. Was pretty much writing up until the moment I went to bed, but I did finish it. I also did complete my secondary bonus challenge. I wrote way more than just 10,000 words because one of the fics, the 3 chapters, is 10,087 words, and the second fic is up to 4,472 words. So we'll do some math real quick with a calculator on the internet because I don't feel like doing real math in my head. I wrote 14,559 words in 5 days with this challenge. That's pretty good. That's great. Very happy about that. Definitely gonna keep working on both these fanfics, just not in challenge format. Let's talk, like, is this a good writing routine for me, etc. What did I learn from this routine? What I learned is that I do like having multiple projects going at once. That, I think, suits my personal style style, I like that a lot. But I think that doing always bouncing between them, like rigidly like that, maybe not for me. I might prefer if I have multiple projects going, like maybe 1 or 2, and then I get to decide when I bounce between them, because sometimes I want to like hyperfixate on a project and just write. Like I've been really enjoying, I almost said the name of the fic. Nope, this is my little pet project. Keeping it for myself. I've been really enjoying writing fic A, and I kind of like, I think because it's a little bit more like introspection based, whereas the other one's a little bit funnier. When I'm getting into the headspace of a character, I just want to keep writing the chapters. It's been kind of hard for me to stop working on that one and switch to the other one. But I enjoyed working on both of them, and I'm happy with both of them. And I did have fun during this challenge. It wasn't like a big drawback to me. I just think that maybe I will adapt this and add it to my own writing routine. So I definitely think that this is a good routine if you don't like just working on one thing at once, if you find yourself losing interest in your project partway through because it just gets boring to you. That's not a sign your project is boring, it's just a sign that your brain's working a little bit faster than you can write. Since I tend to have like 5 ideas bouncing around my head at all times, something like this is really helpful for me. Yeah, this was cool. I was very productive. If you do end up trying this, let me know in the comments how it goes. I'd also love if you've heard of other neat writing routines that I should try. I want to make this a little series on the channel. So that is it for this video. I gotta get to being productive as always. I will see you next week with another video. Hopefully with some more writing progress updates and maybe some original project updates. That'd be pretty cool, but I don't know.